Listen in on episode 3 of the Root Growth podcast, where we speak with Harvey from Dorset Hemp Co. We discuss the Europe CBD Expo and his journey from quitting his job in January and starting his own company selling CBD edibles.
We went both days, Friday and Saturday.
Yep. And how did you find it?
We only went for a little bit. It wasn't massively long, but it was worthwhile doing, you know?
Yeah, it was good to see what people were selling and what was just going on. I thought it was like kind of in two parts. The people who were selling the products, and there was a lot of claims being made. And then there was the actual talks, what were a bit more, they were quite informative.
Yeah, they were really good.
Yeah,
so many interesting people.
Yeah, a little bit contradictory of what was going on out front, really. It was quite interesting to see.
Well, you had a lot of Americans there who are obviously way ahead of the game in terms of medicinal cannabis.
Yeah.
And they just have access to a plethora of things that we don't here. I mean, we have access to CBD and that's it. So that's the market we're in. And, you know, we all just have to adhere to the law. That's fine. But whatever. Let's hope down the line it changes and then we can all have access to everything that's actually going to help people. But
yeah,
we will see.
Where do you see it going with CBD? Because I've been giving it some thought for the last few weeks. Well, since last 2 weeks since then. And I kind of see the emphasis being more put on cannabis. Like, it seems like CBD is almost like the thing that's opening up the door for cannabis, and that's going to be the real winner.
That's the idea. And I think anyone who's in the market, like myself, is in, you know, years down the line is intentionally hoping that's where it goes.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're all just operating the CBD market at the moment because we can. And obviously we know that it helps people. And the great thing is CBD is a fantastic tool to raise awareness about cannabis in general.
Yeah.
Because if you say CBD to anyone, the first thing people say to you is, oh, that's cannabis, isn't it? And it just opens up a conversation, whether that's a negative or a positive conversation. It's a conversation that's worth having in my mind.
Yeah.
Whether you've got someone sat in front of you going, oh, cannabis is shit and poo-pooing it and whatever, it doesn't work, or you're just a pothead, whatever. Great. I don't care what people are calling me or what people are saying, as long as the conversation is being had. So I think CBD in our country is a really great tool for that.
Yeah.
Because it's really starting to get people to know about cannabis, know that it's, you know, the great thing is if we start with CBD and really, really hone that market in the UK, then the UK is only ever going to get known as a place where medicinal cannabis thrives. And I think if we do ever become legal in this country, it's going to be the same way California does, in the sense that we'll have dispensaries and such, but it's going to be, you know, a little bit, you know, in that grey zone operation thing.
Yeah.
But I think the way the UK market is going to go, it'll head full on into medicinal. I don't think we're going to get recreational use, you know, anytime soon, because England is England. Every MP that's sat in that Chamber of Commons got a stick up their arse and has done for the last 30 years. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
But in my mind, that's what it is. And that CBD Expo was great for that, because there were people from all walks of life. And you had people like me who were a little company who's starting up. You had punters who were just really going there to get themselves a bit of knowledge, get a little bit of interest, which is amazing considering that it's £40 a ticket. So £40 a ticket for people who are just going there to find out a little bit of something is pretty cool to me.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I was quite impressed by all the stands.
Oh, yeah. But I was equally unimpressed by a lot of stands as well.
Sure, in what aspect?
Well, in the aspect of boobs and suits.
I know what you... I was impressed by how big the stands were and how polished it looks. But then...
Yeah, now, see, those are the big companies from America.
Yeah, but then I was... the boobs and suits was very peculiar. Yeah, I noticed a lot of people walking around like that, and I was like, I don't know what's going on here, really. Well,
this is the thing, is the boobs who are trying to attract you, and they're literally there just to give out their flyers and free bags, and I kind of ignored all those companies. Because they're just big American companies who know that they can sell CBD in the UK, so all they're doing is churning out CBD products, and they put a different branding on it. Yeah, it all still gets imported from America. And don't get me wrong, they do great products. They really do. But they're all about the company. They're not about helping people at all. And they're just there to give out flyers, in my mind. The people who we really connected with going round were the little guys. Whether that be individuals walking around or people who genuinely had heart and soul in it at each stand, they were the people we connected with most.
Yeah.
And, it was a great event.
It was a good event. It was my first one doing it, and I enjoyed going around chatting, hear what people are doing, obviously from a marketing standpoint as well. found it interesting because obviously we've got to make sure everything we produce is compliant, but a lot of the stuff we saw there was definitely not compliant.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, how come it's really annoying? Well,
this is the thing.
How come they can say this and we can't? But
I'm exactly the same. I was literally walking around there going, I got chewed up by the Cannabis Trade Association last week because apparently I was making medical claims on our Instagram and Facebook, which in turn I was, so I deleted them all, fine.
Yeah.
But it was nothing I had said. It was like clients saying, your product's doing really well, it's really helping me, it's helped me with my arthritis, my pain, and blah, blah. But I'm not allowed to say that. And I'm, sort of had an argument with the Cannabis Trade Association saying, look, it's not physically me saying it. I said, people who have used my product and have said it's helped them, said, yeah, but you're making medical claims. Right, okay, fine. So anyway, I've stripped them all down. I was going around there thinking, how come I get it in the neck, being the little guy at the bottom of the pile, but these big boys aren't getting stung with 30, 40, 50 grand fines? It's just bizarre to me.
That's what I'm having difficulty with at the moment, because they've got... I was walking around and there was an Israeli pharmaceutical company, and they said their product helps relieve headaches. And they said, we're not saying that it stops headaches. It may help relieve it in 50% of cases. And I was like, yeah, but I don't think we can say that still. But then then I realise, say, if I don't understand, it's hard, because if someone says, oh, it helps me with this problem, then I'm kind of like, well,
this is what we say to our clients when they're producing a review for us. We say, look, we'd really love you to write a review, but just don't be specific. You can't say it's helped specifically with my arthritis. You can just say the product's really good and it's really helped in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Just don't be specific. And people get that and they're like, okay, fine. But it still makes me look like a shyster, because I'm calling up our clients and they'll really love a review from you, but can you be delicate about it? And it's just like, it makes me feel like I am slogging actual weed, and I might as well be.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's really, that's actually what I said to our content writer. I said it's making us sound even more dodgy, the fact that we can't talk about these things, because we're always like skirting around the issue. We're like, we're selling this product, but you can't know what it does. It's just a bit vague. Great. So we wanted to talk about your brand. So we might as well start off with, what's it called and what you're selling?
So obviously we are called the Dorset Hemp. Well, we are Dorset Hemp Companies, is our registered limited name. Reason being that we went for companies is because a big ethos of ours is trying to create as much synergy with other companies as we can. The reason we want to do this is because when we started Dorset Hemp Co, we were trying all sorts of different oils for my girlfriend's chronic pain disorders. And we noticed that from looking in specific CBD shops or even in Holland and Barrett's or whatever it may be, that there was always this disparity between the actual milligrams in the bottle and the percentage it said. So we started, so I thought, right, we've got to make something that we know exactly what it is. And we went forward from there. So we noticed that obviously there's a difference between the percentages and the milligrams. And I knew a bit about, how cannabis can help people, of course. And so I started doing some research into it to try and make it a home for Lizzie, because, spending 80 quid a bottle to actually get the true milligram strength, it was a price that we were never going to be able to keep up with. And Lizzie's got fibromyalgia and degenerative disc disease. So these aren't disorders that go away. So it was all about a pain management thing for us. So we knew that we couldn't spend £80 every 2 weeks for a bottle. It's just not going to work for us. So I had to start making it at home for her. And I was making stuff like chocolates, brownies, and other bits and bobs.
So you're growing your own crop doing this? You're growing up your own crop and then extracting the CBD and creating your own edibles?
No, in all honesty, I was doing it from whole flower. I started doing it when I was Googling the CBD stuff for her and everything. And it wasn't till I don't know why, I thought, I'm going to see if they do CBD flowers. If anyone does CBD flowers or whole hemp or whatever it may be. And started Googling it. And a few companies came up to me. And I was like, wow, so I had no idea that CBD flowers were a thing at this time. Sure. And the different percentages between them or anything like that. So as soon as I typed in CBD flowers into Google, this world opened up to me. So we started ordering that in bulk. So we started ordering CBD flowers by ounces and stuff. So I was making her a few bottles personally. course, that was expensive as well. So there was a few companies I reached out to essentially just say, look, can you give me any discount? My girlfriend's suffering. I make this stuff at home for her, but I need to get the flowers cheaper. So we were already down to about £80 a month we were spending on this, with the flowers. So I was trying to get it down again. And reached out to a few of these companies, told them what I was up to, that I'm making for my girlfriend. I make a few different products, from capsules to brownies for her and cookies and stuff like that I do all with raw flour.
Yeah.
And one company, the Good Buds, came back to me, and I was still at work at this time. And it wasn't until the Good Buds came on to me, and he said, oh, have you ever considered packaging and marketing what you do? And this light bulb went off in my head, and that was actually on the 8th of January. And this light bulb went off in my head. We were, from the 8th till the 10th, we were away in London. And I was saying to Lizzie all about this. She was, look, we've got this company. They said we want to market it, blah, blah. So we started thinking, and we jumped onto a create your own logo website. And I just chucked in, I said, Lizzie, what do you think of this? Dorset Hemp Co, Countryside CBD Solutions, and the little hemp logo. She said, I love it. I think it's brilliant. It looks awesome. So this idea literally infected us like a virus. When you get an idea in your head, you're so passionate about it, so keen, that I went back into work on the 11th of January, and this idea had completely consumed me. So I started slogging away. And by the 30th of January, on the 29th of January, I had a screaming row with my boss, and it basically got down to him saying, right, mate, if you don't like it, there's the door, you can buck off. So I slowly took the key off my key ring for the office. I threw it at him and said, fine, you can go fuck yourself.
It's the right decision to do.
So I did that. And so between the 11th of January and the 30th of January, we had gained enough traction for me to feel that quitting my job was all right.
That's mad. And only a 3-week period. How did you do that then?
But on that trip back down from London, we took a pit stop in Portsmouth.
Right.
And we took a pit stop in Portsmouth because there's 2 CBD shops there.
Mm-hmm.
And we basically went into them and said, look, we're thinking of doing this company. What do you think? Are there any products you'd like us to make, like us to trial? I'm trying to make something a little bit different. And the woman grabbed a bottle of Pinnacle off the shelf. She said, could you make anything like this? And I read the instruction. I read the ingredients. It was vegetable glycerine and whole hemp flour. So I said, yeah, I think I can make that for you. I'll get it done. I'll send you up samples. So we actually had another trip up to London the following week after that. So I had actually managed to create samples, and I stuck little just printed off labels on them and took them straight down the following week. And the woman there, she was really impressed. Wow, you guys worked fast. So I said, yeah, I wasn't dicking around. This is what I wanted to do. So she was really impressed and made an order for 150 bottles instantly.
Sure, that's really good.
Varying range.
Yeah.
This is before we had labeling, packaging, anything. She trusted in me. We'd had really good conversations with her, and that was it. So we went straight away with that. Then it took me about 4 weeks to get all the packaging done, choose the color of bottles I wanted. You can probably see from our Instagram, we started on the brown bottles, which to me was a little bit clinical. I wanted to be a bit more brighter than that. So we switched to the blue bottles, which are a little bit of a bigger expense, but fuck it, I wanted them.
Yeah.
So we'd done that. And of course, I was talking to my family about this and everything. And my family had started to hear murmurs that I had quit my job because I was a bit nervous about telling them.
Yeah.
And so I went round to my grandparents' house, who are very much more like my family. And I went around there and told them everything. Said, look, this is, very much more like my parents. I said, look, this is, I've quit my job. This is what I want to do. And they said, great, we love the idea. We think it's great. In fact, we're going to give you £3,000 to get going with it.
Wow. That's handy as well, right?
Yeah. So, and I hadn't asked them for money at all. In fact, I went there to talk to my granddad about helping me apply for a loan. And he's very business minded, and I hadn't written up cash flow before, or a year's projection, or any of the shit the bank was wanting or had asked for. And so we were both trying to wrap our head around this paperwork, and he got equally as frustrated as I am. He said, you know what, we could go through all this 19, 20 pages of paperwork and they still not give you the money. He said, do you know who's going to give you the money? Me. I went, okay, fine. He said, I can't give you the 20, 30 grand that you're after, but he said, I can drip feed you £3,000 to begin with, and then we'll see how you get going. We'll go from there.
Yeah,
we haven't needed it.
Helpful as well.
It was far more helpful, and that loan had no payback time, no nothing. It was a straightforward. Here's some money from us. see if you can make your dream come true.
Yeah. If you had 20 to 30 grand, it's almost too much.
It is a bit, and you can go wild with that on spending converting a premises and getting loads of equipment, getting yourself a nice company car and all that.
You just don't need it.
Which is what I had planned, and I had all that projection in my investment plan and everything like that. So I had to strip it back to the bones and say, my granddad was like, right, what do you actually need to get going? So right, I need bottles, I need labels, I need vegetable glycerin, I need hemp. That's it. So that's what we bought. We spent the they gave us £2.5 grand to begin with. We spent £1,300 on a kilo of hemp. We spent another £800 on 1,000 bottles, and a few other bits of equipment. And we got going from there, really.
Yeah.
And we started to the brand was getting noticed, which was really cool. So there were a few circles that, especially around Dorset, we stuck with the name Dorset Hemp Co because I grew up in Dorset. So I very much found that anything that comes out of Dorset typically is an instant trusted brand.
Yeah, you're right.
Whether you're in, London circles or wherever you may be, if you're the Dorset something, people know that it's, from the countryside, it's hearty, it's wholesome and trusted. Yeah. That trusted element was a real big thing for me because when you're going to the CBD market, again, we noticed that disparity. We noticed there's a lot of shoddy products out there. So I wanted to be instantly known and trusted. So having the Dorset Hemp Co was worked for me. And it obviously did because it got the traction we wanted. And by the end of March, we were in about 10 shops.
That's wicked. Yeah, it buys you the trust, right? You're a local business creating this local product, and then you're going into shops that are close by to you. There's this trust. And,
exactly.
Familiarity. That's really good.
Exactly. And so I had to have that instantly. And people got that as well, which is really good. So the company in Bournemouth who had barely opened their doors, they were still converting their premises, but the bloke needed to start making some money. So I said, look, I know that you haven't got a lot of money. I don't want you to take it all off me. So we've been doing this with a few companies who said, look, I'll leave you with 10 of each bottle. That's what I can do. I'll leave you with 10 of each bottle. See how you get on. Marcus has now ordered £6,500 worth of stock of us in the last 2 months.
That's just from literally turning up places, giving them like 10 sample bottles just to see how they do with it or do they like it.
Yeah, exactly that. Just say, look, pop them onto your shelf. Here's the instruction cards. Here's that. You guys know about CBD. Let me know how you get on with it. Now that's failed in a few stores, and the stores that it's failed in is the vape shops.
Yeah,
because vape shops are really interested. They're really great punters. They're really, really interested. They love the idea of it, but they have no idea how to sell it.
Yeah,
no idea how to sell it. And I've spoken to a few vape shops since. Say, look, how are you getting on? Do you need anything more from us? And they're like, well, it's still sat on the shelf, mate. And okay, fine.
Yeah, I think from when we first started marketing, we had quite a lot of interest from people who had vape shops, and they thought it like a natural progression just to go over to CBD. But
it's not for them though.
No, their clientele are different people from who want to do CBD. It's completely. They don't think they're too interested in.
They're not. They're ex-smokers. It's a smoking market, which is a dying trade. Yeah. So in my mind, vaping shops and all vaporizers and everything are the last hurrah of a dying trade.
Yeah, that makes sense
to me. So the vape shops aren't a good avenue at all. But anyway, I don't know if there's anything else you want me to say on what we are, why we did it. I mean,
we're going into some of the other questions as well. What is really interesting, that's how you've been tackling your marketing. Because you've obviously done that very well. Because you had a job, you were able to quit your job within a few weeks of doing it. And it sounds like the biggest way you're getting out there is you're just getting your feet out on the ground, just going to local shops, giving them a few samples, explaining what the product is with leaflets, and then saying, you know what, come back to me.
I've just took another guy on board as well, Jason, single dad, has been for the last 6 years. He really wants to get into CBD. He's got absolutely no capital, so I've just done the exact same for him as well. So look, take 10 bottles off me, see how you get on. And I'm actually coaching him through the whole process. So he's like, I'm just setting up my company on my I'm just setting up my website on Wix. I was like, get off Wix, don't do that, go away from it. So because they don't have any payment processors. There's no one who can process the payments for CBD. So
and I'll be surprised if Wix will allow CBD websites.
Yeah, they definitely don't. So
that's what we're trying to reach, all these people who they don't do any research and they're making the same mistakes over and over again. And then they come to us and say, how do I accept payments on Wix? I'm like, get off of Wix. You've messed up already.
Yeah, well, this is exactly what I said to him. I said, look, Jason, I very much want to be your coach in this. So I said, look, I said, don't spare the details on this. I said, if you want to sit and call me and chew my ear off for half an hour about which companies you're using, who you're setting up with, I said, just call me first and dump all the details on me, because I said 9 times out of 10, they're probably hurdles that I've already jumped over.
Yeah.
So just send it all my way and I'll tell you yes or no. So that's really good with him now.
What other avenues have you gone down for marketing, or are you concentrating on this face-to-face selling?
Just general social media marketing. We hire Soho Social just to try and boost our page a little bit.
Boost your page? What do you mean, organically on search engines?
So they just do it organically. So they do a few comments. They unfollow and follow people for us, all in within our category.
Right, so on Instagram, you mean?
Yeah, all Instagram based. Yeah. I tend to do everything all Instagram based because it can just filter through to Facebook very easily.
Okay.
Whereas if you start things on Facebook, you can't send them to Instagram, or you can, but it doesn't translate quite as well.
Sure. So you're just, at the moment, you're just concentrating on Instagram, just doing a bit of following, unfollowing, and just commenting, really.
Yeah, basically. And obviously that's something I want to boost. I want to plug loads of money into getting in newspapers, local newspapers, all that sort of stuff. And obviously TV adverts if I ever can, but I just don't have the capital for that at the moment. It's not, I mean, that's years down the line in my mind when we've got thousands of pounds coming out of our area and I've got 200,000 to chuck at marketing. But right now I don't.
What shops are you approaching to get the CBD into? So are they health food shops? Is that where you're going?
There's a little variety. So the health food shops is a good one. Yeah. Again, health food shops is a great market for it, but they feel like the staff they employ don't really know how to sell it again.
Sure.
So although it's up there, it's one of those things that sits in the corner on the top of the shelf and really has to be told about, sold about, So they're great. And so I have approached a few of them, but they're very slow to get the ball rolling. That they like their little health food products that they've got going at the moment. And especially round here, they're quite quiet little shops.
Yeah.
There's Grape Tree, who I want to speak to. They've got like 110 plus stores. So we've spoken to them most recently. So hopefully they debug it as well. But there is a variety of stores that we get into. I mean, there's a few CBD cafes popping up.
Sure.
They're quite cool because we do a big bottle of our tincture as well because it's water soluble. And so we advertise to the cafes that they can take a large 250 ml or 500 milliliter bottle and they can just drip that all into their coffees so they can serve CBD coffees. Okay. So there's a couple of coffee shops that do that as well. So they love having that idea. So, and a few just general sort of like health food based coffee shops.
Yeah.
There's a specific CBD dispensaries as well. So the two down in Portsmouth, one's just been shut down now, but the other one is a specific CBD dispensary. And there's going to be a few more of those popping up and down the country. The chap Jason I just mentioned to you, that's his dream as well. He wants to have a CBD dispensary essentially in the area. So those are the sort of likes of shops that we like to get in because the turnover's frequent with them.
Yeah.
So they're always having top up orders, and it's small and frequent. But there are some bigger fish I want to fry, as it were.
Yeah, it's just hard get into the decision makers, right?
As we do a water soluble liquid. I mean, at the CBD event, there was a chap. Did you see the Bear CBD drinks?
I don't
by the
think
bar
so.
Right on the second day he was there.
Maybe not. No.
Either way, they did a variety of drinks. I spoke to him and said, "Look, who's giving you your water soluble CBD at the moment?" He said, "Oh, we get it imported from America. It's costing me a bomb." I said, "Well, look, if you don't want to have all the import costs, I can do that for you." So we're in conversations with the likes of people like that as well. CBD producers who are already producing a product that might just need the wholesale CBD as a background, especially for drinks companies. Because obviously our liquids water soluble, drinks companies are great for that.
That sounds pretty good. It sounds like you've got a good foothold and you've got a good direction going on right now.
That's the idea. Whether I'll pull it off or not, I don't know just yet.
No, well, you're doing all right. To be able to quit your job and then to get some traction like this, that's pretty good going.
Yeah. It's been a lot of work, and I've just, do you know what? In all honesty, over the last month, I've just my balloon's just starting to deflate a little bit. Were there any other questions you had in regards to like why we did the edibles or anything like that?
I think we're okay because the edibles, I think we covered because you were making them anyway, right?
I started doing it because Lizzie hates smoking and vaping, and then she wanted just to be able to take her CBD in a fun way. So, she loved fudge. Actually, it was our first vegan market where there was a guy doing hemp butter.
Yeah.
But he was also doing a vegan fudge from his hemp butter. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool to do a CBD fudge? So we started doing that.
Yeah, it's a really unique idea, the fudge. What you're selling now, I really like that idea. Because I was looking around the sweets and stuff. I can't really get my head around what the sweets are, what they were shifting at the event.
Yeah. I don't really get the sweets. I mean, I want them because people want them, but I don't really. Did you pick up the little rock candy?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, did you try one of them?
The little cubes?
Not the little cubes. Those I am getting made. They're the lozenges. We're going to expand into them shortly. Because they're a company that makes... They're good, those. Yes, that's the next product we're going to bring out is the lozenges.
Yeah, they were quite cool. And they were very flavoursome. There was one inside, I think they were called THP. I can't remember what they're... Yeah,
they're the ones who are giving out them in jars. They're an American company.
Yeah, exactly. And I tried them, but I'm not sure quite the concept behind all the sweets yet.
They were just sweets in my mind. I don't think with everything that we've done, we've tried to make sure that it's a hemp something. Whether it's a hemp chocolate bar or a hemp fudge or a hemp sweet, you can taste that it's got hemp in there.
Yeah. It did just taste like a different variation of like a Haribo or something.
Yeah, exactly. And to me, that's really, really important, is however subtle it is, having that little hempy flavour in the background, lets you know that it has actually got in what it's got in there. And they're the little rock, like a stick of rock with a cannabis leaf in the centre. If you picked up one of them, they were awesome. They were 5 milligrams a piece.
I did taste one of them. They tasted really strong.
Yeah, they did, didn't they? They tasted really strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those is what I'm trying to get. I'm just in negotiations with them at the moment in regards to prices because they want 50 pence a piece.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm a wholesaler at heart. So I can't be churning them out £1 a piece for them people to sell them at £2 each.
Yeah.
You're not going to pay £2 for that little thing, are you? You pay £1 for it. If the cafe's got a jar of them and they're 5 milligrams each, you pay £1 for that, wouldn't you? I would.
Yeah, sitting there. The price is a little bit whack at the moment. That's what the Colombian guy said. For you to have enough CBD in the capsule to help you sleep, it would cost something like £7 a capsule.
Yeah, basically.
And people aren't going to pay for that, and that's without packaging yet.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to try and get those sweets down to about 20 pence a piece. If we can do that, then we're talking.
Well, that sounds good. So it's good.
No, all right, mate. Well, lovely to speak to you.
Perfect. Thanks, Harvey.
Thank you so much for listening to the Rude Growth Podcast. Keep tuned for episode 4.